it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts here again, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for hitting play today. So this is the card that I have already prepared, and I am going to make a slightly different version of this, live on camera, as they say. And I just remembered something I'd forgotten, which is my watercolour pencils, but I've got them now, so that's okay. So this stamp set, which is the Floral Statements stamp set, is kind of different for me to get, because, as you know, I like stamp sets where you can do something a bit different, and this is a bit kind of, it is what it is. But I keep looking at it and I keep thinking it's really, really, really pretty. And actually it could make some really quick but fun cards, because you can just stamp it and leave it as it is, or you can do what I've done here and do a little bit of watercolouring. So yeah, I think it's one of those ones that I'll be using for quick cards, as opposed to one I'll be using for you know, seeing what I can do with it type cards. So it is on page 163 of the catalogue, just in case you don't have the catalogue. I was using the hello stamp here. I'm going to use the thanks this time, and I'm going to use a completely different colour scheme. So this was crumb cake, melon mambo and black, with some linen thread round it, and there's a secret behind that which I will come to in a minute. And this time I'm going to use soft suede, peekaboo peach, and this is the shimmery white cardstock. I can see it shimmer, but I doubt you can. I'm going to grab my archival black ink pad, which is one that you won't have seen me use that often, because I don't use it that often. So I'm just going to pop those two bits to one side. I've lined it up so it hopefully will be straight on the block. I need to just get my brain in gear. Why I don't get my brain in gear before I hit play, I really don't know, but hey, it wouldn't be nearly so much fun for you guys if I had my brain in when I was shooting a video. So I've just inhaled some stamping mist whilst I was spraying my stamping scrub. God, it really is painful, isn't it? So this is the archival black ink, and I'm going to ink up my stamp really, really well, because there are a lot of bits of this stamp that are solid, and you want them solid, not a rough approximation to something vaguely approaching solid. What's quite tricky is not the right word, but it'll do, is that some of it is hatch crossed anyway, or cross hatched anyway. Okay, so let's see how we get on. So let's pop that reasonably straight. And now, whilst I'm doing this, I am going to bring in my Stamp-A-Majig, just in case I'm not totally happy with the impression, because, oh, I am, ish. Actually, no, I think I might just do a little bit of re-inking. Generally speaking, you use the Stamp-A-Majig by stamping on the sheet that comes with it. Put the sheet down, and then line it all up with the Stamp-A-Majig, etc, etc, etc. But it is actually quite useful to realise that you can use your Stamp-A-Majig on its own. I just want to see if I can get this to be a slightly blacker image without going too far the other way. So let's see, that's a bit better. That's a bit better. I think we will leave it at that, but that is slightly darker than it was. But it is worth bearing that in mind, that if you put your Stamp-A-Majig down before you lift your stamp off, you can then just reposition around your Stamp-A-Majig. I just want to get the stamp clean quickly, because with the archival black, the quicker you clean, the cleaner your stamp will stay. So there we are. That's quite nice and clean. So don't need that anymore. So I'm going to leave that just for a little while before I bring in the watercolour pencils, which is what I'm actually going to use. Now, why I said there was a secret to this. I was actually colouring this in while I was having my lunch earlier today, and I got a little greasy mark on the edge of the card. So I thought if I put some linen thread and tied the bow there, it would disguise the greasy mark a little bit. So there you go. Hopefully this time I won't end up with a greasy mark, because I've got nothing greasy here to mark. Right, these are 2 sets of watercolour pencils. Now, we're using Peekaboo Peach as the feature colour. There isn't a watercolour marker that is Peekaboo Peach, but the reason I'm thinking Peekaboo Peach is we have got in our garden a beautiful rose, which is the Peace Rose, which was, actually I'm going to use the green first, which was the rose that was launched, for want of a better word, just after the Second World War, to celebrate the fact that there was peace. So that's why it's called Peace. That's not why we've got it in the garden. We've got it in the garden because my brother and sister-in-law very kindly gave it to us. I'm not sure if that was a hint in any way. But anyway, it's in flower at the moment and it's gorgeous. When it first comes out, it's a very interesting rose. When it first comes out, it looks as if it's just going to be a yellow rose. I mean, a beautiful yellow rose, but just a yellow rose. And then as it opens up more fully, you can see a hint of pink round the outside of the petals. So here. And I thought it would be fun to see if I can replicate that even to a degree on this card, as this is a rose and it's a fairly similar rose to the Peace Rose. So that's the plan. Whether it succeeds, we will wait and see. Oh, and now the sun comes out, just as I've got the lighting sorted out here. The sun comes out. If it gets too bright, I will close a blind. It's a bit of an overcast day today. It was supposed to be sunny, 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 in preparation for what's supposed to be heavy rain tomorrow, which will be yesterday by the time you see this. But who knows? The English summer and the English weather generally is always a bit hit and miss. I have to say I am of the view that the weather is what it's doing now, and that's really what you've got to be aware of. We're not quite as bad this far south as if we were in Scotland, where the old saying is that in Scotland you get all 4 seasons in any given day, which does happen quite a lot actually, having spent quite a lot of time in Scotland over the years. But I'm going slightly over the lines. If you've got a bit more time, then obviously you can be a little more accurate. Right, so that's the green. I am going to add, just so that there is a bit of shading, some brown just in the middle. It's not actually quite the right green for this particular rose. This rose has very, very, very what I would call Christmas green, so like an evergreen leaves, but it's fine. Now, I don't need to worry too much about shading as such, it's just the colour. And the reason I say that is because we've got all this crosshatch. The shading is kind of taken care of. So I'm going to just add yellow everywhere that is meant to be rose rather than leaf. and I'm not being too accurate because I just want colour. And it's actually the colour of the Peace Rose is a very, very soft yellow, so I may even need to come in with a bit of white, but we'll see how it goes. Because this cardstock takes colour in a slightly different way from the Whisper White, which is what I generally use for watercolour pencils. Oh, and I've missed a whole bit of green. That's stalk, so we want that green. Right, and now actually I'm going to add a bit more yellow, and then, just as I say, it's only on the open flower, so the bud doesn't have the pink on it. It's only when the rose is open that you get this almost like a sunset feel to it. And it really is stunning. If you've not seen a Peace Rose, do see if you can find one somewhere, even or just a picture of one, because it really is the most stunning rose. Right, okay, so these are watercolour blender pens that I use for class, so it's always worth, even if it's you who uses them, checking that they are clean, and this one is, and that it's running moist. So I'm going to start with the green, and I don't want this to be too solid, you know, it is supposed to be watercolour. So while I'm colouring this in, I will remind you of, actually I'm going to just see if I can take some of the bits that I've overrun out-ish, or made them worse. Oh, no, that's all right. So I must remind you of the specials that are going on at the moment, both on my website and elsewhere. So as far as I'm concerned, you will remember that I now have over 1,000 subscribers, so we've got the 1,000 subscriber giveaway going on. So that is only available for people in the UK, I'm afraid, and it is an entry for every £25 you spend in my online store in July. So that's, if you spend £50 you get 2 entries, etc. Just checking the lighting because it is quite bright over there. If you are spending in July, you are also, and it's as if Stampin' Up knew I was doing my giveaway as well, they are doing bonus days again. So if you spend £45 in my online store in July, you get a voucher or a code for a voucher to use on my online store in August. In my online store in August. So for every £45 you spend in July, you get £4.50 back to spend in August. And in August you can pre-order the amazing, and I will grab it in a minute, Carols at Christmas, or Carols of Christmas, stamp set and framelets, thinlets, both, whichever they're calling them. So, and that's going to be part of a new thing that Stampin' Up are doing, which is called a mega bundle. No, mega suite. Sorry, mega suite. So we have suites. So we've got the I'm trying to think of one. The Birthday Memories suite, which has got, you know, designer series paper and stamps and all that good stuff in it. Well, this is going to be a mega suite. I have no idea what that will be, how that is different, other than it will of course all coordinate, because that's what happens with suites. But that's all I know. So in fact, let me just, while that's doing that thing, let me just grab the aforementioned stamp sets which arrived earlier today, or on Monday, depending on how you look at it, and the matching, yep, right. So the stamp set is this, Carols of Christmas. It's red rubber, So I've got it on clear, but you can get it on wood as well. And it fits a D block, I think, from memory. Let me check. It does indeed. Perfect for a D block. That's being the largest of the images. So that's the stamps, and these are the thinlets. This one you can put your card through the Big Shot, then take this off and flip it over so you get a rectangle. These are beautiful little edges that you can just do. Trees, these coordinate with the stamp here. The little deer coordinates, this coordinates, this coordinates, this coordinates with this. So really pretty, really lovely. As ever with a bundle, it's 10% off, and it's available in August as a pre-order kind of special for all our lovely customers. So you will get £4.50 or a multiple thereof off for every £45 you spend in my online store in July, and you can use it on that. So the other thing to bear in mind with that, oh, I should have left the card a bit longer. It's the archival ink does take a wee while to dry, and I should probably have left it a little bit longer. In fact, I might just bring in my heat tool because it would be a shame to smudge it. I'll just use the first setting, number 1. So while this is doing its thing, the other thing that is going on Stampin' Up World is the Christmas in July offer, which is a joining offer. So in addition to the standard £130 of product that you can buy for £99, and you get whatever £130 of product you want for that £99 and free shipping. So in addition to that, you also get the Carols of Christmas stamp set. You get 2 D blocks, a pair of snips, a bone folder, a snail adhesive, this is better, snail adhesive, a grid paper, grid paper, snail adhesive, bone folder, snips, 2 D blocks. Yes, so that's £65 worth of value, including the stamp set. And you get that included, and it's all for £99. So if you are teetering on the edge of joining my team, take the plunge. I've had one lady already take the plunge this month. And I have another one due, well actually by the time you see this I'll probably have had 2 take the plunge, and it's just an amazing offer, so go for it. Whether you want to just have the discount or whether you want to make a business out of it like I do, it is up to you. Either is fine, something in between is fine too. So yeah, if you're thinking of joining, now is the time to do it. So I'm just taking the blender pen and a watercolour pencil and just taking some of the, I want to use the word ink, but you know what I mean, ink. I'm just adding a little bit more. So yes, that was all a bit of a waffle, for which many apologies, but you know me. That's kind of where I go. And that doesn't actually look too far off a piece rose. Yay! Okay, so where are we? 19 minutes, wow. That's rather long. So let me grab the card base and stuff. I have got here the Peekaboo Peach Baker's Twine, which I can't get open. So I'm just going to add that. Let's get rid of that. I'll probably put that down the bottom, I think. And because this is on the spool rather than on the card, it comes nicely in one straight sheet. I think I'll do 3 round. But if it's on a sheet, so you've got the kinks, just roll it through your bone, you pull it through your bone fold, and that straightens it out. So let us pop that down at the bottom, tighten it all up a bit. I'm going to actually tie a knot first because it's a little easier to tie a bow when you've got a complete knot in place. It's quite easy to tie a knot with only one pair of hands, but it's almost impossible to tie a bow, particularly with baker's twine, where you want it to be taut. So I tend to tie a knot and then the bow. And I'm going to scooch that down a bit more and just cut off the ends a wee bit. Super, super. Right, fast fuse, and I'm using fast fuse, which I know is unusual for me, for 2 reasons. A, because I used the heat tool, the card has warped a wee bit, but also with the twine, I just want to catch the twine into the fast fuse a bit. And if we're lucky, we will get this done before the sun comes round and blinds us all. Oop. Okay, put that down too quickly. So let's see if I can lift that off without ruining it too much. I'm not too worried if I... Right, there is a technique where, yeah, if you twist rather than pull, it comes off easier. So I'm not too worried that I've got a tear on the back there because it's not going to be seen. I'm more concerned that it's straight, which it is. There you are, you see. You get it live and with warts and all on this channel. No editing here. Right, okay, so dimensionals, and then we are good to go. Of course, bending the card or folding the card would be a good place to go next. So one there, one there. Towards the mountain, and this is my usual A4 cut in half and then scored down the middle, so nothing strange there. And I do love dimensionals because their backs come off, so even when you're in a rush. There we go. So 2 quite different looking cards, because one is, let's get the sunlight out of the way, one is on this crumb cake cardstock and is very more soft and subtle, and then this one which is on the shimmer white. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. If you want to get any of these products, don't forget they are available on my online store. Links are below, so I will list the products below. There aren't many this time, actually. Bit of card, black ink pad, and some watercolour pencils and a blender pen. So not too much. Oh, and some twine. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thanks a lot.